Welcome to Light Her Up, your go-to podcast for exploring what it means to align with your passions and create a life filled with freedom, ease, and fulfillment. I'm your host, Natalie Bernacchi, a mom, entrepreneur, and certified coach who left a 15-year corporate career to build a life aligned with my passions and help other women do the same. We'll be diving deep into topics like self-discovery, mindset shifts, and the courage to pursue the life you've always dreamed of. Thank you for being here and for prioritizing yourself. I'm honored to be a part of your journey. If you're ready to find your joy, reclaim your identity, and upgrade your life, you're in the right place. Now let's light it up. Hello, my loves. I have something really special to share with you today. When this episode airs, it will be the day before my 40th birthday. And as I step into this next decade, I've realized one thing with absolute clarity. I want to enter into my 40s with calm energy, deep spaciousness, and full alignment with what truly matters to me. That means saying no more often, clearing my calendar, and making space, not just for rest, but for what truly fills me up. It means listening to my intuition, honoring my energy, and being okay with stepping back when I need to. And I'm 100% using this podcast to say this out loud so that I can hold myself accountable. So thank you for listening and holding me accountable. And for those of you who know me personally, you know I love to travel. I love the experience of new places, seeing different perspectives, expanding my worldview. It truly lights me up in every way. And this year, I actually made the decision to cancel 2 huge trips that I had planned with Matt, my husband. We had one to Costa Rica and one to Portugal. And I did this because I felt this deep pull to stay grounded, to recharge, and to create space instead of filling it up. I mean, I guess it's kind of ironic that when you're traveling a lot, you're naturally up in the air, like literally on airplanes. And we traveled so much last year. It was like multiple times a month that I was gone, whether it was a retreat, an event, a girls' trip, multiple trips with my husband, multiple family trips. We went to Mexico City for an entire month with my family, and it was amazing. And we are going to do that this year, but I want to be really intentional about our travel plans this year so I don't get this feeling where I'm not grounded. And so, given that I was gone for a lot of the year, I was not feeling very grounded with all of the travel. And I made an enormous career transition last year. For those of you who don't know me, I left my corporate career of over 15 years to go all in on my business. And by the way, it has been the best thing that I've ever done for myself. But with that, I am in full business building mode right now. And honestly, it sort of feels like I have a newborn. I'm nurturing it like a newborn. My business is in that very early stage where it really needs my love. It needs my attention and my presence. And instead of stretching myself thin, I'm choosing to honor this season. One that's full of rest, recharge, and building solid foundations so that this baby can thrive for years to come. And recently, I did something that truly reinforced this need for space. I took a 2-night, 3-day staycation, completely solo, no kids, no husband, no distractions, just me and my hotel room and the permission to simply just be. I didn't go on some grand adventure. I didn't pack my schedule full of activities. I worked on my business in a way that felt spacious and inspiring. I slept in without an alarm. I literally slept like 10 hours. I got a massage. I ordered takeout. I worked out at the hotel gym. I went on walks outside on the hotel property. And honestly, that was it. But it was everything I needed because after months of going, and doing, I needed to just be. Life was lifing, and although so many of the things that I had going on in my life were absolutely incredible and actual dreams coming true, like leaving my corporate career last year, becoming my own boss, launching two successful in person mamapreneur masterminds that my friend Emily and I host in person in Manhattan Beach, attending and becoming a member of an incredible community in Orange County called the Like Minded Collective and the Like Minded OC. And yes, I'll have to link it in the show notes. Building my signature virtual community and program to help moms build thriving businesses, which is coming soon. Honestly, these are all great things, but good things still come with an energy exchange. And as you know, good stress is still stress. So I took a break. And this staycation made me realize something. It made me realize I don't want to wait until I'm completely burned out and screaming, I need a damn break. And true story, I didn't yell this, but I did text my husband when he was away on his 3 out of 4 weeks in February. There were a lot of profanities and in all caps saying, I am burned out. I need a break. I'm going on a staycation. It was not my proudest moment, but he handled it like a champ. And now instead of doing that, I'm making these breaks part of my quarterly planning. I am intentionally scheduling time away before I feel like I need it because creating space should be a proactive decision, not a last resort. So, in today's episode, I want to talk about the power of taking a break, why creating space is necessary, not selfish, and how you can step into a season of more ease and alignment too. So, I'll be covering why taking a break is essential, how to release guilt when you choose rest over doing more, the truth about bandwidth and why more space equals more capacity for what matters, and simple ways to create more space in your life. So, if you've ever felt like, I can't step away, everything will fall apart, I feel guilty asking for help because I should be able to handle it all, taking time for myself feels selfish, or I wish I could have a break, but it's just not realistic, then keep listening because I promise you, the best thing that you can do for you, your family, and your business is to create space. And before we dive in, I do have something super special for you. If you've been dreaming of starting or growing your own business, but feel like fear is holding you back, you're not alone. Most women don't stay stuck because they lack a great idea. They stay stuck because they overthink, they doubt themselves, and they believe it's safer to wait. Staying stuck is the riskiest thing you can do. And that's why I've created the Confident Mamapreneur, the step-by-step guide to break free from everything holding you back from starting the business of your dreams. This guide will help you rewire fear-based thoughts, break through limiting beliefs, and start showing up as the CEO of your own life. By the end, you'll have the confidence to take your first bold step toward the business of your dreams. You can download your free copy now, and the link is waiting for you in the show notes. All right, so getting back to the episode. So here's something I've learned as I step into this next chapter in my life. More is not always better. Forever, I filled my calendar to the brim. I said yes to every opportunity, every invitation, every trip, every request. But this year, I am practicing the art of saying no. Trust me when I say I am the queen of overloading my calendar. For a long time, I was the type of person to put 25 things on my to-do list for the day when I knew it was not humanly possible to actually complete 25 things in a day. I constantly underestimated the amount of time something would actually take to complete. I always felt rushed. I was late everywhere I went, and I'm still guilty of this one. I'm working on it, and creating space will help with that. But when I say yes to everything, when I go on all the trips, when I try to be everywhere for everyone, I can't fully show up for what matters most in my life. And I'm constantly running on empty. So when you create space, you create more energy for what actually matters. When you say no, you make room for things that feel like a full body fuck yes. When you slow down, you hear your own intuition more clearly. And that's what this year is about for me. Leaning into my truth, trusting my intuition, and making space for the things that truly light me up. So let's talk about the things that stop most moms from actually stepping away. Mom guilt. That little voice that says you should be able to handle it all. If you were a better mom, you wouldn't need a break. Everyone else manages. Why do you need help? Let me tell you right now, that voice is lying to you. Guilt will try to convince you that taking care of yourself means you're taking something away from your family. I also saw this a lot in myself before kids when it came to my career. And I see this a lot in my entrepreneur clients, whether they have kids or not, when it comes to their business. That same guilt-driven voice shows up in different ways. I can't take a break. What if I fall behind? If I was truly dedicated, I wouldn't need the rest. Successful people push through, so I should too. But let me be real with you. That mindset is exactly what leads to burnout. I remember years ago when I worked in West Hollywood, I'd do the 1 hour and 20-minute drive home every single day in LA traffic. And one day I felt this wave of intense anxiety wash over me. It became hard to breathe. I started to feel lightheaded. It was getting worse and worse, and the breathing was like so shallow. It felt like I was going to pass out. Luckily, I was able to pull over. I called 911 because I had no idea what was happening. And it turned out I was having a full-blown panic attack. And it boiled down to me worrying so much about the work I needed to accomplish that day that I wasn't able to get done before I left the office. And then later that day, I remember speaking with my stepmom about it. And she said, Natalie, the work will always be there. If you had finished it all today, there would still be more for you to do tomorrow. And that really stuck with me. So the idea that you should always be on, always available, always doing, it's a toxic belief system that keeps us stuck in exhaustion and self-sacrifice. And here's the wild part. Men do not carry the same guilt. And I know that's generalizing, but most men don't. You don't see dads questioning whether they deserve a guy's trip or a golf day or time to just be. But women, we feel like we need to justify every second of space we take for ourselves. The truth is, rest isn't something you earn, it's something you require. Whether you're raising kids, running a business, building a dream, or all of the above, I know a lot of you women do all of it, you cannot give from an empty cup. And when you finally allow yourself the time and space to recharge, you show up more present for your kids. You make better, clearer decisions in your business. You feel more energized, more creative, and you feel more like you. So whether you're a mom who feels guilty stepping away from her kids, or an entrepreneur who feels guilty stepping away from her work, it's time to let that guilt go. Because taking care of yourself doesn't take away from the people you love. It allows you to show up as the best version of yourself for them. The only question is, are you willing to give yourself permission to take the break you deserve? And I'm going to be real with you. It's not always easy to leave. Every time I step out of my house, even if it's just for the day, my kids naturally get upset, especially my daughter. If I'm going away overnight, it turns into full-on meltdowns. There's crying, begging me to stay, and their little voices saying, Mommy, don't go. And let me tell you, it wrecks me every single time. There have been trips I've almost canceled because I felt so bad. The guilt creeps in and my mind starts spinning. I ask myself, is this really worth it? Am I being selfish? Should I just stay home? And then there's FaceTime. I used to think checking in would help me, but most of the time it only made things worse. My daughter would completely melt down when she sees me on the screen, which made me feel even worse for leaving. And it's even gotten to the point where, in many cases, it's actually just best if we don't FaceTime at all. And I thought, well, once she gets a little older, it'll get easier. But she's turning 8 and it's still hard. But here's what I remind myself of every single time. I come back a better version of me. When I create space for myself, I return with more patience for the hard moments, more energy to play, connect, and be present with my kids and my husband, more capacity to handle my kids' big emotions without getting overwhelmed. Because as moms, we know our kids have big feelings. They're constantly growing, learning, navigating challenges, and experiencing emotions that they don't yet have the tools to process. And they need us to be grounded, steady, and to be calm and help them navigate through it. And I can't be that for them when I'm running on empty. So yes, the goodbyes are hard, the guilt sneaks in, but every time I take a break, I remind myself that this isn't just for me. It's for them too. Because the best thing I can give my kids isn't my constant presence. It's the most present, fulfilled, and recharged version of me when I'm with them. And if that means I have to endure a few hard goodbyes in order to show up better when I get back, then it's worth it. When you create space, you show up as a more present mom, partner, and business owner. When you rest, you have more patience and energy for your kids. When you ask for help, you teach your children that they don't have to do everything alone either. So let's start normalizing, saying yes to rest without the guilt, creating space for what truly matters, asking for help without feeling like we're failing, and trusting our intuition when it tells us it's time to slow down. Because I promise you, the world will not fall apart when you take a break, but you will fall apart if you don't. So I will leave you with these last thoughts for the day. More is not always better. Creating space allows you to show up fully for what matters most. Guilt is a damn liar. Taking care of yourself doesn't mean taking away from your family. It makes you a better version of you. It's time to normalize saying no, taking a break, and trusting your intuition when it tells you to slow down. And your challenge for this week is to pick one way you're going to create space and actually put it on your calendar. Time block it in, reserve the time so no one else can take it, and be really firm with your boundary around it. And DM me on Instagram at The Light Within Collective. I really want to hear. Tell me what you're choosing. And don't forget to head on over to the show notes and download the Confident Mamapreneur Guide. If you've been dreaming of starting or growing your business, but you feel like fear is holding you back, you're not going to want to miss it. And lastly, I believe in you. You deserve this. Now go have a piece of cake for my birthday and go take that well-deserved break. I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Light Her Up. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take steps towards a life better than you ever dreamed. I see you, I hear you, and I'm so proud of you for showing up and prioritizing your journey. When you fill up your cup with love, you can pour so much more into the people and passions that matter to you most. If this episode resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you subscribed, left a review, and shared it with someone who could use a little extra light. For more, check out our weekly 5-minute meditations or connect with me on Instagram at The Light Within Collective. I'm sending you my love, and I'll catch you on the next episode.